Hi guys. Get well Groot and Uber Lucy signing in. So, Jamie had a surgery yesterday. It was a very long day for all of us waiting. It all sort of happened really fast in the morning. We got woken up about 6:30 in the hotel, in the hospital. I keep calling it a hotel because it's so nice. So in the hospital they came in, woke us up about 6:30. I'm staying with Jamie in the hospital room, which is really, really nice to be able to do. Sort of showered, got ready, we were both quite quiet, didn't really say much. He was obviously nervous, as we all were. 7:30 they came in to give him his pre-med, which is basically quite a strong sleeping tablet. His family arrived at about 7, so just before that we had a bit of a, opportunity to sit and relax. But once he had his sleeping tablet, it then all sort of happened very quickly. He got changed into his, obviously, operation wear, which was super sexy.
Sexy?
Girls, it's all about the hospital gown. He loved it as well. Cheap little backless gown.
Super sexy. Go back.
Once sleeping pill kind of took effect, he was then wheeled upstairs to ICU quite quickly after that. You know, this big entourage of us, we all went up with him, crammed into this tiny little lift.
Maybe we might have to go in the lift here. Maybe 5, I think.
You've got a whole entourage with you.
Oh. You're taking up so much space, you know that, don't you?
Yeah.
Kind of a big deal. I have many leather-bound books.
They all smell of rich mahogany.
Yes, my home smells of rich mahogany.
And then we had to say our goodbyes outside of ICU, and it's kind of a lot sooner than I thought it was.
See you when you come back? Yep, a couple hours. We'll be there. I'm not going to kiss you, that's weird.
See you later.
No.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
It's like Heathrow. See you later. Like I said, now you get to see what we go through when you go under surgery.
So the wait begins.
Yep. Now what?
Oh, let's go to the party. Let's be honest, that's what we'd want us to do.
Exactly.
Didn't feel like I had much time to kind of digest, I suppose, but I suppose that was a really good thing, because if we'd waited around all morning just worrying and panicking, that would have been worse. So he went in about 7:30. We were told not to expect to hear anything until about 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, so we all then just tried to keep ourselves busy. I went for breakfast with my sister, we sat and drank coffee, and she was really, really excited to eat cake for breakfast. If you ever in Germany tried cafe and kuchen, it's the best cake ever. So we just kind of twiddled our thumbs. I came back to the hospital around about 12 o'clock, 12, half 12. We sat round, everybody arrived at about kind of 1 o'clock, and we just waited. And it was the longest day of my life. We were all in very high spirits until about 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock, when we were expected to have heard something, is when everyone was stupidly restless. At this point, my sister's now talking us through the contents of a handbag, because conversation is struggling slightly, because we're all so anxious and restless. I went to find out what was going on, and yeah, he was out of the op, up in ICU, still asleep. So at about 4 p.m, Helmut came round, the legend that he is, glided in. Yeah, he told us that the surgery had gone fine, that there were no complications. It'd been a bit tricky because of the stage of the bleed that he was in. He prefers to operate in the acute stage where there's still a little bit of blood around the cavernoma. He said it was a bit tricky to kind of remove, but that, again, no damage was caused, everything went to plan, and that all he's really expecting is Jamie to wake up with some double vision. He looked really impressed, actually. It was came in with a little smoke on his face. I thought, really hard, but I've done it well. So that was all reassuring. That's the moment I think that everyone just went, because we at that point had knew he was up in ICU and awake. Well, not awake, but we knew he was up in ICU and out of the op and okay, but we didn't really have much of an indication as to how the surgery had gone. So after that, that's when the kind of the first wave of relief came, and lots of tears, happy tears. So at that point, I kind of was up and down waiting to the point where I could go up into ICU to see him. At about 4, I managed to go into the room where he was. He was just opening his eyes, but very, very much out of it. I think by about 4:15, so about 15 minutes later, he was looking around, and I think was able to kind of recognise that I was there, started squeezing my hand. The doctors came in and did some initial assessments, and from everything that we were told, the surgery has gone fantastically well, as could be expected, which is always what you want to hear from a surgeon. We're expecting symptoms of double vision. Obviously, after the op with the anaesthetic, we were expecting a lot of nausea, perhaps some damage or effect to the way that his eyes move, and a little bit of paralysis to his face. But when I went up there, his face was fine, his eyes were moving. Yeah, it was more a case of him just waking up, coming around from the surgery, and the effects of the anaesthetic wearing off. By about 5 o'clock, he was a little bit more able to sort of speak and form words, but still completely out of it. For obviously reasons, we weren't allowed to film up in ICU, which is kind of a shame, because I think I was really, really shocked actually after such major surgery. I might have had surgery before, but nothing in comparison to this. And yeah, I think I was quite shocked and taken aback by exactly how, I can't even describe the word, not Jamie he was, which was really upsetting. To me, Jamie is all about that sparkle in his eye, and that just wasn't there yesterday. I was hoping that, I'd see a little glimpse of it before I was able to leave him last night, but that was obviously my expectations being far too high. So we kind of tag teamed in and out between sort of 5 and 7. We kind of spent little bits of time with him. He was in and out, and he was really, really, really nauseous and being sick quite a lot. I think the hardest thing for me is he was coming around and a bit more able to speak. He was telling me he was scared, and I don't think he was maybe expecting to feel as bad as he did, and to feel as out of it as he did. 7 o'clock came round, they put him on some quite high anti-sickness drugs, which have a lot of sedative properties. So he went under again at about 7, was really quite heavily asleep. We can't visit him after 7 anyway in the ICU, 7 until 10 again the next morning, which has been a bit of a anxious overnight wait. Yeah, and then we left, we went back to the hotel, had pizza, a bit of wine, just to try and calm ourselves down. For me, the kind of relief has been quite gradual, I suppose. I think I won't be fully relieved until I see Jamie again, and until he opens his eyes, he looks at me, and he knows it's me, and he, can speak to me, and yeah, has that twinkle in his eye back. Expecting him to come back down to the ward today, and I've spoken to the nurses this morning. They said that he's been fine overnight, and that they expect him to be down into the ward later, which is all again as we expected, and everything's going to plan. His recovery is all on track. Now I just have to wait till 10 till either I can go to the ICU to see him, or he gets brought down to the ward. So that's the update. Further to follow once we see him. Once he's on the ward, we can then do a little bit of filming of him to embarrass him, obviously, and to give everybody an insight into kind of the recovery process. So, as you probably gathered, the surgery days were stressful. We're at the other end of it now, and Janie's currently sleeping and recovering. So the next couple of episodes, we're going to focus on his recovery and what to expect each day, and how he progresses each day, because again, before we started this vlog, we didn't really have any idea of what to expect after the surgery. As Jamie would say, if you care, share. Subscribe, share, like, follow, and just basically raise awareness of this condition. Cavernoma Alliance UK is still doing fabulous things. Lots of other support groups as well that we've been introduced to recently, but we'll be able to give those a bit of a plug in the coming weeks. Thanks. I've just realised my bags. If anyone can give me any how to remove my boyfriend's brain surgery bags makeup tutorial, that would be amazing. Because I don't think I've slept properly for about a month now.